everybody. I'm going to find out today whether or not I can figure out how to make a turkey dinner in the RV. Let's see what happens.
Welcome to our epic field trip. We lived the typical American dream, advancing through the school of life and learning lessons along the way. Then we met some folks who were doing life another way, living and traveling in their RVs.
So we decided to go on our own epic field trip to see what we could experience and learn in wide open spaces.
Come along with us.
One of the things we all kind of wonder about, I think, when we move into an RV is how much of a holiday dinner can we actually make with the limited space and limited appliances that we have in an RV. So I have a convection microwave oven, a regular old electric cooktop. It's not even a convection cooktop. It's not a gas cooktop. Sometimes I wish it were gas, but it's an electric cooktop with just 2 burners. And I've got the little trick up my sleeve. I'm going to use the Instant Pot, I do believe. So my plan is to make turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, green beans, sweet potato casserole, and some rolls. And I'm going to cheat for dessert. I bought some store-bought dessert. I probably could easily have put a pie in the oven ahead of time, but just didn't feel like doing that this time. So let's get started. I'm going to share my journey and we'll see what works and what doesn't work. With that, let's go ahead and get started. So I have 3 sweet potatoes. In years past, I've done a lot more than this. And I've just washed them up and poked them a little bit. And I'm going to put them in the microwave to cook. And once they're cooked, then we'll continue with making the sweet potato casserole. I'll probably go ahead and get it baked ahead of time. So while that's cooking, I will share with you, I am cheating a little bit. So I've got some green beans here. It's just the 2 of us, so I'm trying to not make too much food. But I did go ahead and get some canned green beans. They're special green beans with some mushrooms. I'm going to doctor them up a little bit with some chicken flavoring and some other things to make them taste a little bit more tasty. And I do actually like the canned jellied cranberry sauce. So that's going to be pretty easy. I'm also cheating, and I'm going to use stovetop turkey stuffing. So that'll be pretty easy. I'm going to just get that put together on the stovetop, and I'm thinking about kind of combining some things and putting them in the oven together. So maybe do this along with the sweet potato casserole. So we'll see how that works out. And then, let's see, yes, since I'm doing the turkey in the Instant Pot, I really don't know how that's going to turn out. So I went ahead and bought some jarred gravy, turkey gravy, and I might jazz this up a little bit too. We'll see what happens as we go. And I think that's it. So we'll get let the sweet potatoes cook, and we'll check back in when they're done. So the sweet potatoes are not done yet, they're still cooking. But I thought I would go ahead and assemble all the pots and pans and cooking utensils and cooking dishes that I'm going to need. I typically have done that in the past, and that helps me stay organized and saves a little bit of time. Make sure I've got the right pot when I need it, and all the right tools when I need it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started putting that together. sometimes you have to hide things crazy places in the RV. So I've been using these foil trays because they're easy to use. You can get lots of different sizes and pretty easy to store. But I just happened to store some of these under the bed, so I had to dig those out real quick. So I'm just putting these on the rack that I know will go in the oven to see. I think I'm going to have sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, and stuffing. And I've got my green beans, and then I can put my rolls in there later. So the turkey will be in the Instant Pot. I think that'll work. I think that's the plan. Let's check the sweet potatoes. Oh yeah. Okay. Sweet potatoes are done. They're all soft and gooey. And one of the things I do to help for cleanup is I put some parchment paper in the microwave and cook them on the parchment paper. Because as they're cooking, they kind of ooze out some yummy sweet potato juice. However, it's kind of a pain to clean up, so this helps with the cleanup for sure. All right. So I'm doing about half a pound or half of a 5-pound bag. I have plans for this. I'm going to try to make some potato soup in a few days. So hopefully that will work out. I'm going to save these for that. Okay, let's get these washed and cut up. You might notice, some of you RVers, that I'm using lots of water. It's because we're in a campground and we are hooked up to shore power and water. So, I'm going to use it while I got it. So, something I was really terrible at when I was younger was cleaning up after myself as I went along while I was cooking. And the kitchen would be an absolute disaster. So, I've learned over the years to clean up as I'm going. I'm trying to get better at it. Okay, so sweet potatoes are done, but they're really hot and too hard to handle right now. So I think what I'll do now is just go ahead and mix together the stuffing and get it in one of these pans, and at least that'll be done and ready. This in first little pan, but I need to check on the potatoes. Yep, they're done. So I'm going to go ahead and drain those. So normally, when I've made dinner in the past, I will usually do the potatoes at the last minute and mash them fresh. But I think what I want to do, what I plan to do this time is go ahead and mash them now. Just don't think I can get, I've only got 2 burners, so I can only do a couple of things at a time, and I'm not sure that I can get it all done right there at the last minute. So we're going to give this a try. We do not drink a lot of milk. So what I've been doing is been buying these little milk boxes, and they have a really long shelf life because you just open up. Really what causes milk to go bad is once you've opened it. That's when it really starts to accelerate the spoiling process. So these little boxes are pretty slick. I can keep them. They've got usually, like a 2 or 3 month, sometimes longer shelf life, and it helps since we don't go through that much milk very quickly. Alright. So one of the things that I'm not crazy about with this kitchen is I really only have one outlet. I suppose in a pinch I could use the outlet that's right over there, but I can't reach it from here. I'd have to crawl across the couch, so it's not very convenient. So right now I'm dealing with that. Maybe down the road we'll add another couple of outlets, because you can never have too many. Alright, let's get these potatoes mixed. So even with trying to not make so many potatoes, I obviously have still made way more than Scott and I will need to eat. But the good thing is, I do have a plan to make potato soup later in the week, in a few days. So whatever mashed potatoes we don't eat, I can use to put in the soup and like thicken it up a little bit, along with the chunks of potatoes. So I think that'll work out pretty good. I'm gonna put some dabs of butter on that so that the potatoes stay moist as well. And I think I'm gonna do that to the stuffing. Okay, so I've got my sweet potatoes peeled, and we're going to start putting in the sweet potato casserole ingredients. And since being in an RV, we're in smaller quarters. So instead of buying big 5-pound bags of sugar and flour, I've been buying these little things. So it's easier to store, doesn't take up as much space. Alright, so now the plan is to cover all these with foil, and they'll be ready to pop in the oven. I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to work on the turkey with the Instant Pot. Saved it for later. So when we come back, we'll be working on that. Phew, alright. This is a lot of work. Probably going to do this one time, just to show that I can. I may or may not do a turkey dinner again. Now, the only thing about the Instant Pot is the skin is not going to get brown. And I decided that that's not going to be a problem for us because we don't eat the skin anyway. So what I'll do is go ahead and mix up some seasonings with this butter. And I'm just going to rub the butter probably mostly under the skin and in the cavity, the seasoned up butter. And I'm going to put some salt and pepper in there, and some herbs de Provence, and some smoked paprika in the butter. Mix that up and put it in the turkey. Okay, now what we're going to do is I've mixed a concentrated slurry of the chicken bouillon base with some hot water from before, and got that all dissolved up, and it's concentrated, so it's kind of like a chicken broth but a little bit more concentrated. So I'm just going to put that in the bottom, and then just add a little bit more water since it's pretty concentrated. So that's got a nice base in it. I've got some onions that I will place around the turkey once I get it in there, and then of course some white wine. We're gonna add some of that in there. I think that'll be good. This happens to be a great Scott Italian Pinot Grigio. That's Scott bottled. He made it and bottled it back in 2011. So we're finishing up the last few bottles of wine that Scott made when we were still in our sticks and bricks house. So I don't know, that's probably enough, but you know, a little bit more. Alright, so now we're supposed to put the trivet in, the Instant Pot, and get this bird in there. Fits right down in there. Pretty good. I think that'll be fine. Alright, so we're making a lot of progress here. We've gotten all the casseroles out of the oven, and I'm preheating the oven now for the rolls. We cooked the turkey in the Instant Pot, the turkey breast. I ended up setting it for 40 minutes, and it came up to pressure, cooked for 40 minutes, and then let it naturally release the steam pressure for another 10-11 minutes. And we've opened it up now. I've opened it up, and I'm just going to check the temperature to make sure that it's fully cooked before I take it out. And yep, we're at 164 degrees. So that worked well. So we've got the rolls in the oven. We have the gravy and green beans on the stovetop. They're done, ready to go. And the casseroles are ready. So we're going to get the turkey out and carve it up, and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, it's all ready to go. So I think it turned out pretty good. I took a taste of the turkey, and it's very moist. So the Instant Pot delivered on really great moist turkey. It's very flavorful. So we're ready to dig in. Let's see if I can figure out how to switch this around, and we'll show you the finished result. All right, we've got rolls, turkey, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, stuffing, green beans, and gravy. So thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen today, and I think I've decided that turkey dinner can be done in the RV. I could probably do it for up to 4 people, but I probably don't want to do it again for a while. It's a lot of work. All right, happy holidays everybody. Bye.
Maybe in our world here, there lives a happy little mountain.